7-year-old Jackson Hayden is living proof, his mom says,
I really did think he was going to make it.
that miracles do happen.
Jackson, unfortunately, he was a victim of child abuse when he was an infant. A guy I was with hurt Jackson on purpose.
At the age of 1, police say Jackson was, quote, thrown with his head striking a table and the floor because he would not stop crying.
They only gave Jackson a 20% chance to live because he suffered a traumatic brain injury to the right side, and he had 2 frontal lobe strokes as well.
The Tennessee teen has been in and out of hospitals his entire life as a result of his traumatic brain injury, cerebral palsy, epilepsy, and a developmental delay.
His age mentality is between maybe a 2 to 5-year-old. His cognitive level is pretty poor.
It's made communication difficult.
Well, what you got, Jackson? You tell him Merry Christmas?
And everyday care a challenge.
Okay, now try this.
So you're almost done?
You're almost done with it.
So last year, the family was encouraged when Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, one of the best pediatric facilities in the country, recommended a Virginia hospital they said was even better suited to meet Jackson's needs.
They mentioned the word Cumberland, and they said, this would be a great place for Jackson to go to. It's out in Virginia. It's about the only hospital that will take Jackson because he is medically complex and has behaviors.
June 20th, 2019, Jackson would be transported by ambulance more than 600 miles from Nashville to New Kent County and Cumberland Hospital for Children and Adolescents.
My first impression was very strange. I did not feel comfortable, I will be honest. Leaving him there, it was very hard.
But Shannon did go, thinking she was doing the right thing. But about 3 months later, just when she was getting comfortable with her son being away from her, she'd receive a concerning phone call.
Jackson was apparently breaking out with a rash, and that they had to give him a shot of prednisone. That's what it was, prednisone. And some cream to help with the rash because they thought one of his medicines was going against him.
CBS 6 has obtained Jackson's medical records from that September 14th evening, which document the call at 10:43 p.m. and also an encounter 30 minutes earlier. The record states that staff approached a nurse asking, quote, "Can I have some cream?" When asked what the cream was for, staff stated, quote, "He has a red area on his chest." It goes on to explain the nurse assessed Jackson, noting a large reddened area with several fluid-filled blisters ranging in size. The RN goes on to say Jackson was, quote, guarded with, quote, teary eyes. And though he was nonverbal, his face scale pain was 10 out of 10. 2 days later, Shannon says the story changed from a rash to a burn.
She goes to say that, well, Jackson was burned in the shower, and he suffered 2nd and 3rd degree burns.
Shannon says she contacted Jackson's case manager and requested to see her child's burns.
As a mother, I think I should have that right to see how bad it looks. And Ms. Hobbs was like, well, we're doing an internal investigation. We're not allowed to see those pictures. But you could do a Zoom call with him.
Shannon provided us with a screenshot of that Zoom call, which she says shows the discoloration of Jackson's burned skin above his t-shirt. And that's all she'd see of it. But it would be documented extensively in Jackson's medical records. The following day, as a 2nd-degree burn with pink popped blisters seeping fluid. 48 hours after that, it's noted that Jackson is withdrawn and may be in pain from the burn on his chest. His records continue to reference his 2nd-degree scald burn. At that point, when they told you could not see your child's injuries, in this case burns, did that set off any red flags?
It did. It did. it made me worry about what else, could have been going on. Why are they not letting me see his burns? It didn't make a lot of sense.
But a month later, Shannon says things started making sense when she'd receive another call, this time from Cumberland's Director of Risk Management. Communication provided to CBS 6 shows Matt Wiggins wanted to talk to Shannon about, quote, the incident and, quote, update her.
Then my heart just sank to my stomach.
That's when she says the story changed again.
He's like, we have on video one of our behavior techs going into the break room, heating up water and pouring it on Jackson intentionally, going back from the break room into the bathroom numerous times. It wasn't once, it was numerous times. Right then and there, I just broke down crying because it was like, but now what? How could someone hurt my child that way? He's there to get help.
Shannon says Cumberland advised her that the behavior technician was terminated and the case was turned over to the Virginia State Police. Under the Freedom of Information Act, VSP confirms to CBS 6 it's been investigating accusations of criminal child abuse and neglect of patients at the hospital since October 17, 2017, but declined to release specifics on Jackson's case or any others connected to the ongoing investigation. The New Kent Department of Social Services also investigated, but in a letter dated December 16, 2019, they informed Shannon that their investigation determined that a review of the facts did not show a preponderance of evidence that abuse or neglect had occurred, and that the report was unfounded. However, they point out that that may not mean that abuse or neglect did not occur.
If I did that to my child, I would already been in jail. I would have been arrested a long time ago. So I would like to see justice for my son.
Justice this mom fought for when Jackson was a helpless infant and is seeking once again 15 years later.
My son is disabled. He can't fend for himself. He probably didn't understand why he got burned, why this woman did this to him. She was supposed to be there to kind of, help. What was the purpose of her burning my child? She may never tell me. I may never know.
Shannon had Jackson discharged from the hospital after learning of the allegations in November. Since being home, she says the bathroom is a huge trigger for him. We reached out to Cumberland Hospital about the allegations. The CEO said, quote, I can confirm that the issue was promptly and thoroughly investigated, reported to authorities, and that the employee was terminated. Due to confidentiality, the New Kent Department of Social Services could not comment on the case. Working for you, Laura French, CBS 6 News.